Hi guys, this is another video in my Experience Teacher Through Action Research vlog. In this one I'm going to do some reflections and I'm going to look at a reflection on the timing of the unit. So to outline the unit, we're doing waves, and on the class website that we use, which you can see here, I've placed all the tasks that needed to be done or that can be done throughout the unit into this, which are all in basically a column on top of each other, with students moving down the center column as the minimum and I've called this the learning journey. So this is the direct track of the learning journey, this side with remedial, this side with extension tasks. But as well as having it online here, because kids like having something in their hand, I've also printed off this in A3, which has the exact same images, but it's a hard copy for them to follow along with. And what I've been doing with this is, as I check students' work off, stamping the work that they've completed, so they have an up-to-date understanding of where they are in the topic. Now this topic is slated to be a 5-week topic. And there's quite a lot in this 5-week topic. It's actually, I think we used to do this over 2 weeks, but two topics, but we kind of put it together. So the idea would be for at the end of that 5 weeks for students to get up to the end of this one, which is looking at EMR. We're 4 weeks in at the moment, and most students are around this sort of area, which means that there's a bit of a hurry getting into the last topic, and I spoke to students about that today and about when that was coming to an end. Don't know how I feel about this personally. The students are working really well in class, and it's rare, like there is a little bit of banter as there is in any classroom, but it's rare that nothing's getting done, even by students who I've had problems having to coax into work in the past. They have had days where they've just smashed through the work. As it is with moods and kids and everyone really, some days are more productive than others, but most kids have been on class most of the time. While the behaviour management is built into the gamification with the Classcraft, I haven't really had to use it very much. There's been a couple of little things, but it's been pretty much on task. And I've probably used it much less than I did in the control topic, the previous topic I did, where we were working through at a teacher-governed pace. So that's interesting. Something that I have noticed is students watching videos in class. Now, we talked at the start of the topic when we were talking about expectations and stuff like that, about not being a particularly good use of class time by watching flip videos in class. The fact being that you've got the teacher, you've got your peers in the class to help you with the harder sort of activities. Having your headphones in and taking notes isn't the most effective use of time, and that they should be done at home. Now, I'm not too sure what proportion of students are doing that and actually doing the videos at home. As I said, I have noticed students doing it in class, and probably more than I would like, but I've been apprehensive about jumping on them for doing that, because I don't want them kind of doing the right thing by watching a video to be something that then is punished. And I've kind of done something like this in the past, where I was trialing a self-paced thing, and I found that it was actually counterproductive having students not watch the videos in class. If they've come to the class and they're not prepared to do the next activity, the best thing that they can actually do is watch the video and get ready to do that activity, rather than either forcing them into the activity or forcing them onto a side activity and then pushing them behind where it's possible that they're already behind to start with. So while we talked about that And I have in a class setting or in a whole class setting mentioned that it probably wasn't, or reminded them that it's not a good use of time and that should be done at home. I haven't actually been jumping up and down on them for doing it in class. And I wonder, then going back to our timeline, being 4 weeks of 5 weeks, I think we're probably, for most students, they're probably looking at about, if they did it at this rate, they'd get it done in 6 weeks. Now, I won't find out until after, when I do interviews with the students, what the case is here. But there's a couple of possibilities that I can see. One is that they've done all their videos in class, so that's a period of time in class where they could have been doing other things and have fallen behind from that. So I'll be interested to ask students about how much work they actually did outside of the classroom and at home. The other thing could be is that students, we have these topics, and as teachers we have to a sequence that we have to teach a topic in a certain amount of time. Waves, physics, light, electromagnetic radiation, this is something that students on a whole tend to find a little bit tricky. So I wonder if it's a situation where we as staff in our planning process aren't allowing enough time for the students to actually get their heads around that. So whether this, although it's slated as a 5-week topic, should have actually be a 6-week topic. That then asks the question that which topics could be shorter, in order to make them shorter but still teach them effectively, getting into questions about sort of crowded syllabus and stuff like that, which is obviously beyond the scope of this particular study, but something to think about. And I should be able to glean more information about this later on when I start to do some surveys as well as interviews with students as to how they got on in during this process. But that's kind of where we are for students keeping to a schedule. The best thing really is that I haven't seen a situation in the class, or I'll probably go out on a limb and say there isn't a situation in the class where student pace means no pace. The students have actually all risen to the challenge of this and been working in class. So that's been really positive to see from that perspective, that I haven't actually had to sort of put the wind up anybody or any particular student because they're bludging through the topic. So yeah, that's how I think the pace of the self-paced mastery has been going so far. Hope you got something out of this. If you're following my ISTAA journey, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.